Pasa mi gente. Turn this down real quick. What's good, everybody? I don't know about the Scully, but that's how we doing it tonight. I haven't gotten a haircut in a minute. Tonight, we're gonna talk about something. That's infatuation or real love. How do you know? How do you know? How do you distinguish it? You know what I mean? But tonight we're gonna touch a little bit on it. I did some of my research on it, and it's a like I said, it's a touchy subject. It's a touchy thing, and we're gonna break it down tonight. You heard? We're gonna break it down. But let me take a sip real quick. Hold on. Infatuation. Infatuation is what's up, Lisa? Infatuation has to deal, it's a chemical feeling. It's a feeling, it's a pull you get to the person. There's a number of things that you go through when you're infatuated. It's the physical. It's a like I said, it's a feeling that you get. You love to be around the person. You want to make the person happy 24/7. It's the experiences that you have in the beginning. The experiences that you have in the beginning, the excitement. The excitement that you have in the beginning. You know what I mean? That you can't shake. Like you don't even know why you like the person, but you like them. They're a fantasy to you. You know, like I said, you like the way they look. You like the way they act. You like the excitement of going out and going on dates and being carefree and being so, everything is so new. You don't really know the person, but you just know that you're drawn to this person. You're drawn to this person, and what infatuation is that you got to be careful with it, because you got to be careful. You got to distinguish the which one is which, either infatuation or love. And sometimes you don't know. Infatuation sometimes can turn into real love. What up, Nick? Infatuation can turn into real love. It can, but rarely does it happen. Rarely it really happens. So you got to be careful with it. You got to be careful with it, because in the end, it's somebody gets hurt. Somebody gets hurt. So if you're experiencing that, like I said, do your research. Do your research. Make sure that you're not falling into that. Make sure that you're not falling into that. Because with infatuation, it goes from a really high, it goes from real high, to all of a sudden it just disappears. And you have to you're left, feeling kind of crappy about yourself, feeling, like what happened? You know what I'm saying? So just be careful with it. You know what I mean? Infatuation could be a beautiful thing. Also, it could be great, because it's like you have this high of dopamines, in your brain that you can't explain. It's so much happiness. It's so great, and it could be something beautiful. It can be beautiful, and it could take you. It can also take you from it can take you from a bad place in life to a bad place in life, and put you in a good spot. Because now you feel all this, you feel all these things, and you go from a bad place to a good place, because like I said, you got all these dopamines flowing through you. You got all these things flowing through you, and now you feel like I said, if you're going through a bad situation, you feel, you have all these dopamines going in through you, and all this stuff that you're feeling that you didn't felt before. Now you're feeling them, and in your head you're like, you know what? I can love again. I can love again. I can feel again, because it makes you feel so many things so quick. And it's, like I said, it can be a beautiful thing. It can be a great thing, but it can also be a very, very terrorizing, a very heartbreaking thing. So tonight we're gonna it's gonna be quick. But and then you have real love. Like Infatuation leaves. It's about between, I've done some of my research. Infatuation is between 6 to 8 months of pure bliss. Pure bliss. I love you in the beginning, really quick, and it starts to deteriorate between 6 to 8 months. You can feel, like I said, you can feel like somebody loves you, and you can love again. And that's good. That's good to feel love. But then you have real love. Real love starts when you're going through some shit. And you have to figure it out. And life, real life, because infatuation is not real life. You don't go through nothing. You go through a bunch of, it's all highs. No arguments, no discussions of real life, no discussions of real future, no discussions of none of that. It's just a bunch of, like I said, physical. It's a lot of physical, but it's not real life. Now with real love, and also with infatuation, you have a choice to leave, because it's not real love. You leave and that's it. You're good. Unless one of the persons is in love. If that person is in love, then that person gets hurt. That person gets hurt because he or she wasn't infatuated. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna get hurt in the end. Now with real love, it grows. It flourishes. You talk about the future. You talk about real shit, real life stuff. In real love, real things start to happen. The arguments, the arguments, something happens to somebody, and you gotta make that choice in your life. You have to make that choice to keep loving or to not keep loving, because, like I said, real life sets in, real problems set in, and after those problems, when you figure them out, That's when you get that choice. That's when you make the choice. That's when you make the choice whether you keep loving that person or you don't. And 99% of the time, you keep loving them. If you are in love, you keep loving them. No matter how much they piss you off, no matter how much arguments are going on, no matter how much is going on, you choose to love them. That's when real love sets in. When real love sets in, when you have the choice to or not to, that's when you know it's real love. When you choose, when you put yourself to the side, and your sanity, and you love the person, and you say, you know what? We gonna figure this out. That's the difference between infatuation and real love. Infatuation leaves. It's done between 6 to 8 months. It's through the fights, through real life, through real shit that you go through. Okay? That's when real love sets in. That's when it sets in. It's not when you're happy all the time and all that. Oh my God, no. Real love sets in when you go through some shit and you stay there and you say to the person, I got you. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. I got you. We got each other. You're my person. I'm your person. Let's go. You're being a pain in my ass. You're pissing me off. You had a bad day. I had a bad day. But guess what? We're going to figure it out. And we're going to keep going. That's real love. That's not infatuation. Infatuation has to do with looks, the way the person talks, the way the person walks, the way the person, the places you go to and the memories you make that have no, that is just all fun. That's infatuation. That's not real love. That's infatuation. And it leaves. So, give me a call, 856-271-4150. So, like I said, it's not going to be a long thing because I want everybody to be entertained. And I want everybody to know that if I can reach somebody out there that's going through this and I can reach somebody, good. Just, ladies and gentlemen, be careful with the things. Be careful with the quick I love yous. Be careful with the quick I want you to meet my parents. With the quick I want you to meet my friends. With the quick, because it's like they're basically showing you off. Whether the male is showing the female off or the female is showing the male off, is because they have this vision, this false vision of the person. You make infatuation. You make the person what in your head what you want them to be, but you don't really know nothing about them. You just love the image. You love the way they look. You love the way they make you feel. When they call you or you call them, the text messages, all those things that you do in the beginning, that is just great. Be careful. Take your time. Take your time with these things. Take your time. Real love doesn't fade. It grows bigger. Always remember that. Real love grows bigger. The more you go through, the more shit you go through and you get through, it's like going through fire. It's like going through fire. At the other end, you're stronger. You love each other even more. Why? Because you went through the shit together. You went through the shit together, and guess what? You're stronger now. You're mentally stronger. You know what the person, you know what not to do now. You know what not to do, what not to say, how to react, how not to react. Because you went through the fire. So keep that in mind. Real love is when you go through some shit and you're still there. You're still there. These motherfuckers are real good. If you haven't had one of these yet, grab you one. They got them 2 for I think it's like $5.56 at the Wawa. So good, yo. Especially with a little vodka, a little rum. It'll get you there real quick. But yeah, man. You know, people go through things. You know, people go through things, and like I said, infatuation could be a beautiful thing for the moment. It can be a beautiful thing for the moment, and I mean, it's a great thing. It is a great thing. It is. It really is. But you gotta call it what it is. Infatuation is not real love. It's really not. You know, so be careful. But hit me up with 856-271-4150. Like I said, I'm not gonna make this too long. I'm just discussing these two situations. And I mean, if you're down to go through infatuation over and over and over and over and over because you like the high, go right ahead. Go right ahead. You know what I mean? Because sooner or later, you're gonna hit the wall. Oh shit. You're gonna hit the wall and you're gonna want real love. Right? The people go through their whole life. People go through their whole life from one person to another person to another person to another person, and they really don't know how to love. They don't know how to love because they've been through so many situations, so many infatuations, that they really don't know how to love. When the shit gets hard, you know, it's done. You know, so you know, maybe you can. Sometimes you gotta teach people how to love. Sometimes you gotta teach people how to love by loving them. And just loving them unconditionally. Don't matter what's going on. You just love them unconditionally. And say to, you know, and don't just say it, but show it. Don't matter what you're going through, say it and show it. But like I said, a lot of people go through that all their life and really don't know real love. And I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for those people because even though, like I was saying the other day, that, you know, I'm not the type of guy to be in a relationship with. I know this. But I have been in love before. And being in love is a great thing. Being in love is the greatest thing to feel. Hey, Miss Gonzalez. Yeah, love does come naturally. You don't have to force it. You don't have to force it. It just comes naturally. It comes. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to think about real love. It just happens. You know what I mean? It just happens. But, on the other hand, on the flip side, every once in a while, you have to make that choice whether you want to keep loving the person or not. And when you keep loving the person, that's real love. That's it. And it's hard. Let me tell you something. It is hard. It's hard to keep loving the person when you're going through so much shit. You know what I mean? Sleepless nights and all that shit. But you keep loving. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing, and you gotta cherish it, and take care of it. But like I said, man, it's take care of each other, man. Take care of your love for somebody. Take care of your love for somebody. Don't just always dismiss it. Love is hard to find. When you find real love, it's hard to find. It really is. It's not just around the corner. It's not just around the corner. It's not just everywhere. Whether it's with a mate or with a friend. Real love, real unconditional love is really fucking hard to find, man. So when you find it, keep it close. Keep it close and take care of it. But hit me up, 856-271-4150. I'm gonna keep this short. For those who are just tuning in, we're talking about infatuation versus real love. And a lot of people out there right now, as we speak, I know a couple people, as we speak, are infatuated. And I'm like, bro, easy, take it easy. Don't let her meet your mom yet. Don't take her home yet. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't let her meet the kids yet. Don't do that shit yet. Take it easy, take it slow. Slow and steady, because you don't know what's what yet. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what this person's intentions are. You don't know what's good, So, there's people out there right now as we speak that I know that are doing that right now. And I try to coach them and tell them, like, take it slow and steady. You know what I mean? I'm not a relationship expert at all. I didn't go to school for it or nothing. I just, listen, I'm doing this to talk about it because a lot of people don't talk about it. I like to talk about it. And, slow and steady is good. Slow and steady is good. And be careful with it. Be careful with it, and if you have love right now, take care of it. Listen to one another. And sometimes I've always said this: if two people are talking, nobody's listening. And if nobody's listening, life lessons are more valuable than any degree. Yeah. I have a lot of life lessons. I have a lot of situations that I've gone through, you know what I mean, that have taught me a lesson. If you go through something, I believe this, that if you go through something and you don't learn a lesson, you're gonna repeat that shit. You're gonna repeat it. You have to sit and, I sit when somebody says something to me, I sit and I think, not all the time, because sometimes I say, not all the time, but, I really try my best to sit and think about it and decipher what I'm gonna say and what not to say. It doesn't always work that way. But I try to learn a lesson with everything that I do. What up, Nick? I try to learn a lesson with everything I do. Those lessons are valuable. Thank you for sharing. You know, and I try to learn, like I said, I try to learn a lesson with everything that I do, you know, and I try to move forward from those lessons and not repeat them, because you gotta learn them. You know what I mean? Love is very fragile, man. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was telling them that I was saying that love is like you're in a forest and you see a deer. You're trying to feed that deer. You got to be so careful. You're trying to feed that deer because if you move too quick, if you do anything stupid, gone. It's like a deer. You got to be moved very carefully. You got to move very carefully and easy with love. Because at any moment, anything can happen and it could be gone. Like a deer. Feeding a deer like this. Come on over. Come on. Eat the food that I got for you. But you make a sudden move and they're gone. So, like I said, decipher the two that you decide. What do you have going on? Do you have infatuation? Are you on this super high and you don't, you know, nothing's going on, there's no arguments, everything's good, you know, everything's funny, nobody's getting upset, going on dates every weekend, and then they're holding hands and all that shit, you know what I mean? I love you all the time. You know what I mean? You never, and 6-8 months go by and all of a sudden, things starts to change because it starts to fade out. Because real life, like I said, sets in. When real life sets in, I got 2 minutes left. I'm leaving this for half an hour. When real life sets in, that's when real love starts to kick in. That's when real love starts to kick in. And you have to make that choice. Do I keep loving them? Do I keep loving her? Or do I run and look for that next infatuation? And you're gonna repeat the process over and over and over. And in the end, you're gonna be 60, 70 years old with a bunch of infatuations under your belt, not knowing real love. So, that's all it is, man. Look for the signs. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags. But hit me up, 856-271-4150. I have a lot more to say, but, you know, I'm leaving it half an hour. Like I said, don't ignore the red flags. Keep them all in mind. Celsius. All right, well, if anybody else has any questions, or if you want me to touch on this, like I said, I didn't do too much. I didn't go too deep into this because I didn't go too deep. I don't want to go too deep into this. But if anybody has any questions, if anybody wants me to go real deep in, I can. I just don't want to make it an hour show. I don't. I have, you know, I don't want to make it an hour. But I'm going to close it out with this. Infatuation is super highs. Love all the time. no arguments, happy all the time. And then it starts fading. And then it's gone. Real love, through the shit, through the arguments, through a person going through something, through lows, through depression, the person chooses to stay. That's when the real love starts. Well, I love you guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I love you all. And you guys have a good night.